Coming up on Mountain News this morning, a Kentucky business is heading to Appalachia as it plans to bring new jobs to the area. And a staple of Harlan County is under new leadership as it looks to preserve its history.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News this morning.
Good morning, I'm Madison Carmouche. We're nearing 6:30 this Tuesday morning, and today is October 8th. Let's check in with meteorologist Megan Desmall for a look at your forecast this morning. I feel like a broken record. It's cold outside. How about that?
It is definitely cold outside, but that's luckily going to get a little bit warmer, so it won't be too bad today, but it's just getting out the door this morning. That's a little bit rough. Looking at WYMT, though, it looks like there's a ton of fog, but this is just low-lying clouds. Fog won't be an issue here, and for most of the area, with the exception of Ashland at 0.3-mile visibility, Charleston at 1 mile, and Harlan at 7. But overall, it's going to be a nice clear day for all of our area. Current temperatures will be quite cool, though, as we were talking about. Most of the area are in the 40s, with the exception of Jackson at 52 degrees. And overall, it's just going to be quite chilly, to be honest with you. But it will be warming up. We will be getting into the upper 60s and low 70s for the high today, 71 in Hazard, 73 in Harlan. And as you go through the next 12 hours, well, it's going to be sunny. There's not going to be much clouds in the sky at all, hitting that high temperature around 2 p.m. and just continuing to just be an absolutely beautiful day. I'll have the ARH 7-day forecast and the bus stop forecast in just a couple of minutes. Madison?
All right, Megan, thank you. One person is dead after a car crash in Floyd County. The incident happened Sunday on Highway 114 in Prestonsburg. Police say a car driven by Keith Anderson crossed the center line and hit another vehicle, which was driven by Kenny Oxier. Both Oxier and Anderson were treated at medical facilities. A passenger, Kayla Elam, was taken to the nearby hospital where she died due to her injuries. A woman is facing charges after police received a call about a crash in Magoffin County. That crash happened last Friday on Kentucky 114 in the Salyersville area. The car that Sarah Sperling was driving hit another car, knocking into the opposite lane where it struck a third vehicle. The driver of the second car, Roger Arnett, was pronounced dead at the scene. Sperling was later arrested after police say she was under the influence of alcohol. One person was arrested and another taken to the hospital after a shooting in Pikeville. It happened in a parking garage on Sunday morning. The victim was taken to Pikeville Medical Center for emergency surgery on a gunshot wound. Police say the victim is stable but in critical condition. The suspect, reportedly a teenager, was arrested. A motive has not been released for the shooting. Two people are facing charges after police responded to a burglary report in Corbin. Police say the incident happened Sunday at a home on Standard Avenue when police found Christine Johnson and Travis Searcy. They were both taken into custody. Police say Searcy was also wanted on multiple bench warrants. Johnson and Searcy were taken to the Knox County Detention Center. A Barberville woman is facing charges after she reportedly stole a car and tried to drive away from officers. The incident happened last week when police noticed a car that was reported as stolen on Highway 11. Officers attempted to conduct a traffic stop, but police say the car continued turning and eventually was driven into a yard before being stopped. Shanna Williams was taken to the Knox County Detention Center. A Laurel County man is behind bars after police say he called 911 about a house fire that did not happen. Police arrested 34-year-old Jacob Crook of London Sunday night. When police found Crook on Willie Green Road, they determined he was under the influence of a controlled substance. Crook was taken to the Laurel County Correctional Center. A Harlan County man is behind bars after police found drugs on him during a traffic stop. Police arrested 42-year-old Michael Johnson of Cumberland Monday morning on Slope Hollow Road. Police say they found more than 50 grams of meth as well as more than $700 in cash and a handgun belonging to a convicted felon. Johnson was taken to the Harlan County Detention Center. A northern Kentucky-based business is expanding to eastern Kentucky. Infinity Design and Construction Group is planting a new pipe fabrication facility in Floyd County, bringing at least 30 jobs to the area and hoping to create a new era of exports in the mountains. Representatives say the ready workforce was one of the drawing factors, and the presence of impactful trade school programs shows that the workforce will continue to grow.
And that's something that we can build our people into, train our people into the welding vocation, which is a very applicable trade that we can apply in Eastern Kentucky.
The facility is expected to open later this month, and applications will begin accepting on October 28th. The deadline has passed for Kentuckians to register to vote in the November election. Now, state election officials are focusing their attention on educating those who are registered to vote. Secretary of State Michael Adams says 24,000 new Kentucky voters registered this past September compared to 54,000 in September of 2020.
My gut is that means the turnout will be a little bit lower than it was in 2020. We hit 60% in 2020. So at the moment, I'm thinking we're going to be in the mid-50s in our turnout.
Secretary Adams says that number is still much higher than non-presidential election years. He says those numbers typically hover in the vicinity of 40%. Last November, it was 38%. A well-known hazard man has died. Michael Laszlo died Saturday. He worked for American Electric Power for 47 years. He was also skilled in martial arts, a member of the Hazard Lions Club, and board member at the Challenger Learning Center. He was the son of former WSGS radio personality Jay Laszlo. His visitation will be Saturday from 1 at the funeral until the funeral at 3 at Maggard's Mountain View Chapel. Laszlo was 68 years old.
Looking at the area, we're seeing fog is not the story today, and that's because most of the area we're seeing 10+ mile visibility with the exception of Ashland at 0.3 miles. If you look at WYMT studios over here, it looks like we're seeing fog, but that's just some low-lying clouds. And as we continue throughout the day, the fog will dissipate. But current temperatures right now a little bit chilly. If you don't like those 40 numbers, I have bad news for you. 41 degrees for Hazard and Jonesville. A little bit warmer if you're in Jackson at 52 degrees, but across the board, we're seeing quite cool temperatures to start off your Tuesday. And as we go into the highs for today, we're going to be a little bit warmer. We're in the upper 60s and some areas getting to that 70-degree mark. So hopefully you're in the area with the 70s, maybe 73 over here in Jackson. But if you're heading off to that bus stop this morning, it'll be a little bit cooler. Make sure you have your kids in their jackets this morning. And as we continue throughout the day, it'll be quite sunny and we'll have high temperatures in the 70s as you're heading home. Madison?
All right, Megan, thank you. The Benham School opened nearly 100 years ago and educated students in the city of Benham for more than 60 years before being renovated and reopened as Benham Schoolhouse Inn. I was able to speak with the newly appointed board members about how the past plays a role in the inn's future. On October 1st, the Benham Schoolhouse Inn's operations were taken over by the Benham Schoolhouse Inn Board. The 7 board members were appointed by the Harlan County Fiscal Court.
The worst thing a building can do is to just sit. And so we were excited to be a part of its next chapter and just excited to see it carried on into the future.
Benham Mayor Danny Quillen says the inn is the only place for lodging on that end of Harlan County, keeping jobs and history in the area.
Walking inside the Benham Inn's like going back in time. So it gives everybody sort of a sense of what it was like to live in a coal town growing up.
The Benham Schoolhouse Inn is one of more than 10 buildings in the Benham Historic District, which was recognized by the National Register of Historic Places in the 1980s.
Those are all still in use. We've tried to be really creative about their use. We have an old meat market that's now a thrift store. We have the old hospital is now an office space.
Lee Harrison is a Harlan County transplant on the board and says she admires the preservation of history in the Tri-Cities.
And means something special. Everything around here has such history and significance and the heritage of it, and it can continue to for our future as well. It's, we can't just live on the history of it, but how can it continue to serve our future?
The board hired Josh Adams as the manager, who will handle day-to-day operations. In Harlan County, Madison Carmouche, WYMT Mountain News. For information on booking a stay at the historic and tourism-centered Benham Schoolhouse Inn, you can head to this story on WYMT.com. The Daniel Boone Festival is underway in Barberville as folks get excited for the 76th year and the carnival. This year, the theme is rediscovering Boone. The rides and booths are currently going up in the downtown area. Today is the third day of the festival. On day one, folks were able to head to Knox County Middle School for the Daniel Boone Festival Baby Pageant. President of the festival, Tim Bargo, says there is so much to do at the festival once everything gets rolling.
On our courthouse square, this year we have 24 food booths. These are old-fashioned mom and pop food booths. All of them are nonprofit organizations, churches, small organizations, and it's a place for folks to come and, in our terminology, visit.
The carnival starts this evening at 6. The full schedule of events can be found at the Daniel Boone Festival Barberville Facebook page.